Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in with a anime preview video. This time specifically, we are talking about what anime is coming out in fall. What are the notable anime, what are the anime you should probably keep an eye out, what anime I think are probably going to have the best odds of being fun to watch, and what anime I'm personally going to be checking out. So by the end of this video, you should have a pretty good idea of the notable anime coming out in fall 2020. Also, hey, subscribe. We're going for 100,000 subscribers. Be part of the legend. Thanks. Now mind you, I'm not going to cover all the anime here. Again, I'm going for the ones that are notable. So without further ado, let's just begin. We're going to start off with the sequels. So in general, for the sequels, if you haven't seen the previous installments, obviously you should check them out. The fact that they have sequels does speak to just the longevity of the series and the fact that they do reach some wide audience appeal. Starting off with Haikyuu to the top 2. So if you're watching Haikyuu, there you go. This is the second half to the top. It goes without saying that you shouldn't be watching this if you haven't seen Haikyuu. Haikyuu's been going on for a few years now. Next up, it's Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 3. I'm going to be personally checking out this one. This is going to be a pretty big season, diving into an entirely new aspect of the Machi world, centering around the blue-haired girl in the trailers. This is also going to be the season where Belle's biggest rival reveals himself, and believe me, it will surprise you. If you've followed the previous seasons, this one is not going to let you down. It's also going to have a slightly irregular structure because of the way, because of how long one of the story arcs is. We have Irregular of Magic High School returning after an extremely long hiatus. We didn't know if the second season was coming, but here it is. We have season 2 coming. Just to give you the synopsis. The second season of Mahoka, Miyuki Shiba's classmate, Kitayama Shizuku, is on her way to study abroad. For magicians, this is normally impossible since allowing the genes of someone who can use magic outside of their home country's border is tantamount to giving up national secrets. But it's allowed to happen in one case: exchange programs. Ooh, wow. It's lovely that everything bends for the sake of a school plot. Anyway, that's how Angelina Kudo Shields, known as Lena, has arrived in Japan from the USNA to study at First High. Around the time Lena arrived in Japan, magicians began getting attacked by a mysterious being who leaves his victims drained of blood. Will Tatsuya and Miyuki be able to discover the identity of the vampire? Okay, so we have a lot of things going on there. It's probably going to be a packed season. That's going to be fun to watch. Moving on. We have Golden Kamuy Season 3. Here is the synopsis that we have available. Separated from Sugimoto, Aspira now travels towards the Russian border, focused on discovering more about her and her father's involvement with the coded tattoos. But Sugimoto is determined to find and protect Aspira. Along the way, he'll discover new people, new cultures rich with history, and unforgiving terrain. Will Sugimoto and Aspira survive their journey and reunite? So those are the sequels. Here are the notable anime for the season. Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm going to be calling it Jujutsu Kai for the purpose of the video. Here's a synopsis. A boy fights for the right death. Hardship, regret, shame, the negative feelings that humans feel become curses that lurk in our everyday lives. The curses run rampant throughout the world, capable of leading people to terrible misfortune and even death. What's more, the curses can only be exorcised by another curse. Itadori Yuji is a boy with tremendous physical strength, though he lives in a completely ordinary high school life. One day, to save a friend who has been attacked by curses, he eats the finger of the double-faced specter, taking the curse into his own soul. From then on, he shares one body with the double-faced specter. Guided by the most powerful of sorcerers, Satoru, Itadori is admitted to the Tokyo Metropolitan Technical High School of Sorcery, an organization that fights the curses. and thus begins the heroic tale of a boy who became a curse to exercise a curse, a life from which he could never turn back. And the first episode already had a early web premiere, so you can check it out. It's already out in the internet somewhere. Anyway, I'm not sure if you can tell, but that was a really loaded synopsis. There's a lot of things going on. What you need to know in general is that this is going to be a good, fun, high energy anime because it's also a Shonen Jump series. For those who don't know, Shonen Jump is the same magazine that publishes Kimetsu no Yaiba and My Hero Academia and Black Clover. Anyway, because it's Shonen Jump, you can allow yourself to get invested. Since Shonen Jump battle series adaptations don't get dropped very often once they do get animes, because the series is also succeeding in Shonen Jump, you can expect to see a surge in Jujutsu Kaisen content here on YouTube, as the new flow of fans from the anime is probably going to make this series really profitable to cover in the near future. Anyway, if you like battle series with interesting powers, this is going to be for you. In terms of the character, like, this is made for mass market appeal, so check it out. There's a chance that you might end up enjoying the series. It's going to be very interesting once we get further into the series, because it also has a kind of irregular structure when it comes to Shonen Jump series, and that's going to be kind of interesting to watch and see how people react to it. Is it going to have as big of an explosion as Kimetsu no Yaiba did? I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not too sure. I think people are going to be talking more about how different it is in terms of what it's doing in its plot movements. Next up in the notable anime. Tonikaku Kawaii, or Fly Me to the Moon. Here is the synopsis. The story follows a protagonist whose name is written with the characters for Hoshizora, Starry Sky in Japanese, but whose name is pronounced Nasa. On the day of his high school entrance exams, Nasa encounters a beautiful girl named Tsukasa. For Nasa, it feels like destiny is finally calling out to him and that he will have a girlfriend. But things take a turn for the worse when Nasa is hit by a car and unable to attend his entrance exams. After Tsukasa helps the injured Nasa, he confesses his feelings to her and she agrees to go out with him, but only if Nasa agrees to marry her first. A year later, Nasa aces the entrance exams, but he decides to work a part-time job and live by himself instead of going to school. After Nasa turns 18, Tsukasa reappears, and their happy, romantic, and mysterious married life together begins. Okay, so already that's pretty impressive. You know, that's different. Already we have a situation where the kids have just turned into adults. I don't know. That, you know, to me, that honestly seems super interesting. So what you need to know is that this is a romantic comedy made by the author of Hayate the Combat Butler. In other words, this is a person that knows what they're doing. This is a manga adaptation, and the manga has over 100 chapters. Chances are, if you like the genre romantic comedies, and if you were a fan of Hayate the Combat Butler, chances are you're probably going to enjoy this series. Actually, after reading the synopsis, this seems a little bit more interesting than I thought. Next is Noblesse. Here is the synopsis. For 820 years, he has slumbered with no knowledge of mankind's advancement and scientific progress. The land which he once knew has become an unfamiliar place with new technology, attitudes, and lifestyles. Upon awakening, Cadis, that's a long name, seeks to familiarize himself with this era. He locates a loyal servant of his, Frankenstein, who is currently the principal of a South Korean high school. Rai decides that his school is the perfect place to help him learn about the modern world, enrolls, and begins associating with a group of good-natured students in order to blend in. But the new world is no safer than the old, and the dignified, bewildered, technologically inept Rai finds himself embroiled in adventures both ridiculous and dangerous. This is Noblesse. It's a Korean webtoon, one of the first big ones. You know, so this is kind of following the pattern from Tower of God and God of High School. The adaptation's already finished, so if you're interested, you could go and check it out and get the full story. Noblesse also has some OVAs out. You can check out the OVAs, but I hear they're very spoilery. Regardless, Noblesse is another notable adaptation for a Korean property that is sure to attract some new fans. And if you enjoyed the previous two adaptations of Korean properties, I feel like you're probably going to enjoy this one. I mean, it's different genres, but it's probably going to be like roughly the same style. Next notable one.
Television anime
Higurashi, When They Cry. Okay, so this is a big series when it comes to horror. Like, I think it's rebooting. It has a lot of fans. If you like horror, this is a tested property. It survives. It survived long enough to get rebooted. So maybe check it out. I hear that the animation is going to be better than the originals, and the art's going to be better than the originals. I've seen the openings for the originals too, and it's like, oh my god, Jesus. But yeah, no, check it out. My friend really enjoys it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be watching it because I'm not too sure how I feel about little people being put into a horror environment, but we'll have to see. Next up, The Day I Became God. Yuta Nakamori is a student focused only on his college entrance exams. During his last summer break of high school, he is approached by a girl named Hina, who says she is the god of omniscience. She tells him that in 30 days the world will end. At first, Yuta doesn't believe her, but after she demonstrates supernatural predictive abilities, he becomes convinced her power is genuine. Hina, meanwhile, decides for some reason to stay at his house, and they begin a tumultuous vacation facing the end of the world together. Just for the note, this one is getting an early screening on October 3rd. Anyway, this is from the people that made Angel Beats. So key. So whenever I see the original Angel Beats creators getting involved, it's like, all right, I'm gonna watch the show. I watched Charlotte for that reason. Charlotte was all right. I hope that this one's gonna be at least like 3/4 as good as Angel Beats. I think that'd be great. But it's by Key, so I'm very interested. Finally, the next notable anime. The Half-Demon Princess, or in other words, the sequel to Inuyasha. The daughters of Sesshomaru and Inuyasha set out on a journey transcending time. In feudal Japan, half-demon twins Towa and Setsuna are separated from each other during a forest fire. While desperately searching for her younger sister, Towa wanders into a mysterious tunnel that sends her into present-day Japan, where she is found and raised by Kagome Higarashi's brother Sota and his family. 10 years later, the tunnel that connects the two eras has reopened, allowing Towa to be reunited with Setsuna, who is now a demon slayer working for Kohaku. But to Towa's shock, Setsuna appears to have lost all memories of her older sister. Joined by Motoha, the daughter of Inuyasha and Kagome, the three young women travel between the two eras on an adventure to regain their missing past. Well, that just sounds really interesting, right? Anyway, it goes without saying that if you watched Inuyasha, this is probably going to be something that you're going to enjoy. But next, let's move on. So those were the notable anime. Here are the anime that I'm going to be looking at personally. Sport climbing girls. Look, I have a lot of friends that are interested in the climbing scene, and I know some of the terminology and I know some of the techniques, so I'm really interested to see if the anime is reasonable. It's definitely not because the anime is just full of girls with abs. That's definitely not what I'm watching. Like, come on, guys. I'm watching for the plot and accuracy to the real world, definitely. But yeah, regardless, I think if you like sport anime, or the sport anime that feature girls, I feel like you're going to enjoy this. I'm going to be checking out. I'm probably only going to check out one episode and then just not talk about it for the rest of the season. That's kind of how these ones usually go for me. Next up, another one that I'm going to be checking out. Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena. This is a light novel adaptation. Here is a synopsis. Once upon a time, there was a witch named Elena who set off on a journey across the world. Along the way, she would meet all kinds of people, from a country full of witches to a giant in love with his own muscles. But with each meeting, Elena would become a small part of their story, and her own world would get a little bit bigger. So the reason I'm kind of into this one is because it seems like it's going to be a short story collection. This kind of reminds me a little bit about Restaurant to Another World. In the sense that was also a short story collection. It was just like this one guy, he's listening to all the stories of all the people that were coming into this restaurant. So I kind of see that here. It's also a light novel. I'm very interested to see how this kind of works out. It's an adventure comedy. I feel like I feel like this is gonna be a nice slice of life type thing that you can just kind of enjoy casually. So I think it'll be a nice watch. And finally, for the anime I'll be checking out, Kuma 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 Bear. Here's the synopsis. 15-year-old Yuna prefers staying home and obsessively playing her favorite VR MMO game to doing anything else, including going to school. When a strange new update gives her a one-of-a-kind bear outfit that comes with overpowered abilities, Yuna is torn. The outfit is unbearably cute, but too embarrassing to wear in game. But then she suddenly finds herself transported into the world of the game, facing down monsters and magic for real, and the bear suit becomes the best weapon she has. There's already been a preview episode for this one, so you can probably check it out as well. Anyway, this reminds me a lot of Bufudi. People are saying that this is like Bufudi. I'm going to be checking it out for sure. If you like cute girls doing cute things, it sounds like this is what this is gonna be. Anyway, everyone, that's it for me. Those are like the notable anime. I'm sure there's a few others, but they're probably in different genres that I don't check out. But I hope this video helped you get a sense of what's coming up this season, and let me know what anime you're thinking of checking out down below. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.